Hi all. Today I have a story I just feel I need to get off my chest before any great harm ensues and we should be left in the lurch. Um, it's a bit of a tragic story in a sense, uh, but it should serve as a wake-up call. How little your vote is worth, even in a proud democracy. If you have read the Republic by Plato, where he enumerates what qualifies as a democracy, he roots for small democracy, direct democracies, and for those to work, there has to be like, I think, less than 5,000 inhabitants. Anything over there, it just becomes a morass. And well, we'll get to it. But we were well within the range of qualifying for direct democracy in a country that just bristle with proudness each time they can say democracy. You know the deal. Uh, so there was a day they had found out that they want to be they want to build a house of culture. And initially, it was a good idea, and I was very into it myself because we were looking at the oldest house at the time, the oldest farm. There was an outhouse, beautiful location, beautiful house, and I think the idea was to kind of just refurbish the place and put it in like working order, make the outhouse into something where you could, set up workshops and do cultural things. But and in this place, it was a rich county. Some people, I think, from the big city also smelled money. So they came with and put some ideas in the head of the local politicians, and soon the idea about using the oldest house, the oldest farm in the county, turned into making a rubble of the oldest farm, the oldest site in the county, and put up some New World Order architecture with the strange shapes, kind of the drawings I make in a sense, but not as beautiful. So, and of course, the price escalated right through the roof, just on paper, and there was a big outcry in the community that hold on there, Sonny, don't do this, stop, you're getting ahead of yourself, and I took it upon myself to spearhead petition. I got signatories from all over the county. We first I sat at the shop and just we want to see if we can get some discussion with the county here that maybe they shouldn't tear down this building. Maybe we can figure something else out. And people were flocking to it. If I can tell you the kind of interest we garnered is that within 3 days we had basically been around. We also went out and visited people house to house, petition. We need to rein in our politicians that they are running amok here. So And it also was quite educational because um, there were a few places where people were in favor of doing this. Of course, there were some people, but that was a very small minority. Uh, there were quite a few houses, good upstanding families who wanted to sign the petition, but were very frank with me that they didn't want to put their name on the list because if their name was on the list and the county saw it, they would face repercussions, and they didn't want to go through those complications. I mean, that's a red light. That's a red light right there. But there will be more. You see, in these 3 days of collecting signatures, there were also people that have invested in building cabins and contributing in that way to this economy, this local economy, and as well as old people, people my age, and also young people and very young people uh, under the right to vote, but still having feeling they should have some say in their county's future. Well, here comes another red flag. So when I gave them the petition lists a few days later, they were like, well, these people here, I see these are not, these are under the eligible age, so you have to strike them out. These people here, these are they are in the county board, so they they can be. You must take them out also. Like the politicians don't have a right to represent nor self-represent. It's a strange thing. Uh, they did this with a straight face, and of course also the people that only use the cabins. I had to take off this list. Still, uh, in just 3 days, I had collected more than 50% of the people that actually had a right to vote. And the county got the list. They looked at it. I never heard from them again. The next thing I heard from they had a meeting, is they had voted in favor of building it. Just like that. And build it, they tore it down. They tore down the oldest house, the oldest site, to promote old culture, but but not as old as that place. Can you see how crazy this is? And for me, who I had just basically just been living there for a few years after having moved from the capital, I was more than a little befuddled because I was used to in the capital that you had a voice, you had a right to have your opinion heard, and if we were going to talk about culture, I mean, I have my experience that is quite uh, broad in that field. I think you have noticed, if you have followed these videos I've been posting, doing everything from librarian to DJing to doing clubs to doing art to doing a ton of stuff. But the politicians knew best, and well, there were backstabbers also. There were some political opportunists that just they favored the wind. When one of the people that apparently was against it and put their name out in public that they were against it. Once they got offered, a political position, I was just kicked under the bus. That's the fall guy. Look at me. And they did this with a straight face. Never once did they take the time to talk with me, to hear me out, what alternatives we could look at, something that would be more in line with what the inhabitants would have wanted and wished for, maybe. Because, I mean, it's not that we were against culture or anything. It was just how do we go about it? And the way they did go about it was in the most roughshod, totalitarian, ugly way possible. It was seriously bad. I was feeling bad for many years afterwards because of the whole thing. Only now, I mean, over a decade later, I feel I can talk without without getting really in deep to it. But yeah, that was there was some serious malarkey going on right there, and uh, it in no mean way also contributed to that. Okay, when I left that place, I did it kind of, yeah, I like better the place I'm at now. And well, likely, if things have turned out differently, I think I still would have liked to move to the place I have moved now, because I'm just loving it. It was something I was looking for through all those years, even before all this tobacco happened. But yeah, there you go. I was going to tell you about how much your vote counts in a democracy. In a county with less than 1,000 inhabitants, in a cause where you have the majority, and a worthy one at that, on a cause that is open to discussion. In and of itself, it's inherent in culture that you are able to carry a discussion. If not, you don't have a culture. So, but you cannot tell these people anything. They have papers, and they have contacts, and they don't mind slip sliding some carpet under your feet that they can then pull out of under you if you think you're doing good. Just one last thing before I get on the bike here. Is maybe some hope, is that I see now, after this many years of it basically just being, to me, I just described it like a ghost house. Because of persistence efforts, and they have done, I mean, it's not an ugly building by any means. It's just the principle that built it is so horribly wrong that, at least to me, it looks like a disfigurement on the soul of the country, on the county itself. I think perhaps also there's some Agenda 21 things going on there, but I cannot guarantee Agenda 21, Agenda 2030. If you don't know what that is, you should look into it. It's a thing to be very disturbed about. But the one thing I saw when I was there for a couple of months this summer and lived very close to it is that there has grown up a new generation of people, kids, that did never see what was once there. they've been living under the shadow of this building, and because the site is a pretty site, I'm not even sure if they were aware of that when they put it up. I've heard children laughter and playing around in the building, and that fills me with some comfort. But to me, how it was erected, the things I had to go through just because I choose to represent the people of my county. um, it's always been with a tinge of sadness to it. I'm sad to say, you know, but that was what I want to tell you about these democracies. I think things could be a lot better in our nation if the politicians elected to hear the people out without just obliging to the party program or whatever. The party program is below the people. You get me? It's not above the people. So there you go. See you later. Soon be coming with some weather here. Okay.